So I just saw another anti-Trump streamer on YouTube. Probably the first time I've seen somebody who really seems to be an anti-Trump streamer on YouTube. I've seen other people like Adam Mockler and Midas Touch and various groups like that that are good, but they kind of hold back. And this guy, unfortunately, kind of held back too. He seems to be kind of in that same vein. He spoke very anti-Trump. He goes by Sons of Liberty, I think. But it seems kind of like a trap. It seems kind of like in order to get people who sympathize with this view, but steer the opinion, steer the conversation away from certain things. He was listing a number of terrorists, although he didn't choose to use the word terrorist either. He made a big deal about using the word assassin, about how fun it was to call the Minnesota terrorist, Trump terrorist, an assassin. But he didn't call him a terrorist, which I'm going to go ahead and lay out there. You know, the baseline should be you call this guy a terrorist or you're a terrorist supporter. You're supporting his terrorism by not calling it terrorism when it's obvious terrorism. So I'm a little suspicious of the Sons of Liberty guy. Also, he did mention other terrorist attacks from Trump mutineers on the No King's Day protests, but he didn't mention some of the most egregious ones. He mentioned some car attacks. He mentioned in Virginia, a 21-year-old drove into the No King's protest. His name was Joseph Cheklik, I think. In Riverside, California, there was another car attack. He didn't have more information about that, or someone driving their car into the protesters. Sean Campbell is a civilian fire department person, and he gave out the fire department number, 410-293-5676, and the chief of the fire department, 410-293-3740, or his cell, 202-718-8549, for calling about this guy making threats. But he was just making threats. He didn't sound like he actually did something, but he did make threats and should lose his job for that, sure. So call the numbers and complain about Sam Campbell making terrorist threats on peaceful protesters. But again, I wonder how this guy, Sons of Liberty, had so much time to mention that, as I just did. Or Joshua Hernandez, Memphis, Tennessee, also making threats, doing Elon salutes, showing up at the protest, doing Elon salutes, and has domestic violence mugshot. So you can look up Joshua Hernandez from Memphis, Tennessee. Or Tampa, Florida, Evan Sargent, also making threats, begging for bail money for crimes he's intending on committing against No King's protesters. The Atlanta Proud Boys, I've heard a few different people talking about how the Atlanta Proud Boys showed up. This guy's video highlighted how a brass band blew him away with the anti-fascist song for World War II, Bella Ciao. And the another video mentioned how one of the wives of the Proud Boys was, we have to wear masks at these things because Antifa will ruin our lives. If people find out who we are, our lives will be ruined. If people find out who you are because of what you did, your lives are ruined because of what you did. Who you are, you should protect who you are from what you're about to do. You're the one who should protect that. Don't put on a mask. Put on America. Stop being a terrorist. Stop trying to Stop trying to terrorize peaceful American protesters. But the ones that the Sons of Liberty did not mention, I think he may have mentioned no, I don't think he mentioned any of the other ones besides the Salt Lake City protester, and he really dwelled on that one because it turns out, at least according to him, the Salt Lake City protester was not the one who shot somebody. One of the security shot somebody trying to shoot the Salt Lake City Trump terrorist, the guy who showed up to terrorize the Salt Lake City No King's protest with a rifle and stuff. And one of the security shot him and ended up killing someone else, a bystander, innocent bystander, when they shot him. According to the Sons of Liberty guy. Again, I'm a little suspicious of the Sons of Liberty guy because he didn't mention the other Trump terrorists with guns. He mentioned a few with cars, which I appreciate because I hadn't heard about them, and I'm trying to collect all the Trump terrorists who struck on that one day to shame all the news media organizations that aren't tying the dots together, aren't connecting the dots on this one. But he did mention the Salt Lake City, but dwelled on that because it was apparently the security who ended up killing someone there, not the terrorist. They didn't kill the terrorist, and the terrorist didn't kill somebody, according to him. But again, he could be presenting as a leftist to steer the conversation away from what needs to be happening. He did not mention the terrorist who showed up with a gun in Phoenix and with a red shirt who got taken off by the cops after waving his gun at everybody after getting his ass beat. And the peaceful protesters saved his life from the one guy who was beating his ass by calling that person off. And still he waved his gun at all of them. Or the Nashville protester who was doing Roman Elon salutes and saying Heil Elon and saying Heil, Trump's idols in Nashville and had a gun and was taken off by the police. Or the one that Adam Mockler highlighted, who was a lady, and I don't know if he mentioned or I just missed it, what city she was in, who was a lady who reached for her gun and the security tackled her to the ground. So that security acted very proactively and conscientiously and safely. And I don't know when it happened to her, but Those 5 with guns, Minnesota, Salt Lake City, Phoenix, Nashville, and that undetermined city, Virginia and Riverside, California with cars, others with posts threatening attacks, or also with guns. I mean, more and more, I'm sure I'm leaving some off the list. The Atlanta Proud Boys, I don't know how they were armed, but, they were the Proud Boys, so they were not seeing around Atlanta until they got shut down. They got shut down by a brass band, but again, it's like everything can be used to oppose these people, but we need to talk about how many there are, how many are striking on the same day, that they're all coordinated by Trump, and take it down from the top. We need to take Trump out of the picture, to take Trump out of office, and dismantle his whole network of terrorists. So let's do that. Let's do that sooner than later, before we have to add even more to the list, because these videos keep getting longer and these people's lives keep getting shorter, and there's no reason anyone should have to die just because of Trump's hateful lies. That includes Iran and Israel too. They should cut that out. He's making it worse. But imagine starting a war with someone who can fight back.